Okie dokes, ladies and gents, this is an African elegy. So what must you know? Right, well, first of all, the title of the poem. The title calls it an elegy, which is a lament for the dead, but actually this poem is not the traditional elegy that we are used to. An elegy is usually a mournful poem about death. It's mourning someone who's died, but this poem is actually about, it's very positive, and it's actually about life. Even though it mentions death and it does center around when we die, this is actually not a sad poem as we are used to in an elegy. So make sure you know what a paradox is in this poem. A paradox is two contrasting ideas which are in one line. So I'm sure you're familiar by now, hopefully, with oxymoron, which is two contrasting words that are put together, like bittersweet. So a paradox is the same thing, it's just different ideas, it's not just different words. So be able to identify and explain the paradoxes in this poem, and all of the poems, but in this one they're particularly relevant. Then also make sure you can identify the tone. Make sure that you know that this is a positive poem. And then finally understand the speaker's message, which is that there are unseen forces at work in our lives, and that when we die we will learn these secrets. Right, so let's get into it. We are the miracles that God made, to taste the bitter fruit of time. We are precious, and one day our suffering will turn into the wonders of the earth. Right, so the speaker describes us as miracles, and he says that we are precious, which proves the positive tone of wonder. He's in awe, he's amazed by it, by us. Time is personified. You'll see it's written with a capital letter as if it's a name. This is to show the importance, because time is what will ultimately reveal to us the secrets that the poem is talking about. So the whole theme of the poem is that eventually when we die, we will learn the secrets of life. And it's time that will get us there. And then if you look at, and one day our suffering will turn into the wonders of the earth, there is an example of a paradox, because suffering should not usually be wonderful, but in this case it is our suffering that will take us to that wonderful place after we die. There are things that burn me now which turn golden when I am happy. Do you see the mystery of our pain, that we bear poverty and are able to sing and dream sweet things? So pay attention to the diction. Look at how the ideas are contrasted. So there are things that burn me now, which is obviously painful, but they turn golden when I'm happy. So there's connotations of richness and happiness, of good, positivity. Then there's a rhetorical question, and this rhetorical question really encompasses the theme of the poem, that there is a mystery behind our suffering. There's something that we don't know. There is some greater purpose. So we should just deal with it and carry on. And then look at the paradox again, in that we bear poverty and are able to sing and dream sweet things. And this line has been asked quite often, or these two lines have been asked quite often in the exams. So please just make sure that you can explain this paradox. The idea that we bear poverty, so we endure it, we live with it, but we are also able to sing and dream sweet things. So normally if we're experiencing poverty, we don't think of people who are poor as being happy and of singing and celebrating, basically. But now the speaker says that we endure poverty, we go through it, we deal with it, but we do that in a positive way. We sing and we dream sweet things and we are happy about it. and that we never curse the air when it is warm, or the fruit when it tastes so good, or the lights that bounce gently on the waters. We bless things even in our pain. We bless them in silence. So we are able to recognize the goodness of life even if we are in pain. So it is one of the privileges that we are given, is that we can recognize positive things. We can appreciate the beauty around us, even though we may be suffering. Even if we never speak about the good things, we are grateful beings in essence. So we bless things even in our pain, we bless them in silence. So even if we don't say it out loud, we are still able to realize and to be grateful for these beautiful things and these good things. That is why our music is so sweet. It makes the air remember. There are secret miracles at work that only time will bring forth. I too have heard the dead singing. So if you think about music in poetry, it always symbolizes happiness and celebration. People won't generally make music and sing if they are sad. Usually it's out of happiness that they do that. So that is why our music is so sweet. We are, because we can be grateful for these things, we are able to create happiness in our own lives. And then the idea that the air remembers implies the lingering effect of this positivity, which we pass down through the generations. So it's a continuous cycle that we remember it and we pass it on to our children. It could also be a reference to our ancestors who are in the air around us, because in the next couple of lines, the speaker refers to the dead who are singing. So the dead who already know the secret and these miracles that are at work. So there are secret miracles at work that only time will bring forth. And now that's almost a repetition of that first stanza where time will take us to these secrets. I too have heard the dead singing. Once again, there's this reference to music because they are happy. They already know the secrets that we still don't know and that we will only discover later. And they tell me that life is good. They tell me to live it gently, with fire, and always with hope. There is wonder here. And this is what the dead have discovered and what we will learn when we die, that life is good. And their advice is to live life gently but with fire. And this is another paradox which seems very contradictory, because how can it be gentle if it's fire? But what the speaker means is that gently means that we should not be too hard on ourselves or on others. We should not be too serious about everything. Some people tend to take life very seriously. And he says that we shouldn't be. We should just be calm and go with the flow. But then in the same line, with fire, which implies that we should live with passion. We should live and do things on purpose. So we should have some kind of drive, even though we're not taking things too seriously. And of course that we should always have hope for the future, and realize that there's magic around us, because there is wonder here. And there is surprise. In everything the unseen moves. The ocean is full of songs. The sky is not an enemy. Destiny is our friend. So in everything the unseen moves, there are forces at work on our behalf that we don't realize or know about. So there is something working, or someone working in the background of our lives to take us on the path that we need to go. The ocean is full of songs, once again, reference to music, but nature is aware of the wonder that is at work. So almost the entire world is in harmony, and knows that something good is happening, and knows the secret that we still need to learn. The sky is not an enemy. The sky could be a reference to death or to heaven, and the message is it's not necessarily a bad thing. Destiny is our friend. we are all destined to die one day. That is what is going to happen. But we should not be worried about it or scared of it, because when we die, we will learn these secrets of the universe. We will then be part of this secret that everyone else knows about. Right, so please do the questions on the poem in the study guide. It is 2.11, I think that should be 2.11.1. Please just go and have a look. It should be the first one, the first set of questions on the poem. It's on page 26. Thank you.